NTA Parliament is a dedicated 24-hour channel that broadcasts activities of the Nigerian Senate, Federal House of Representatives, and all the 36 state houses of assembly.
Hello Nigeria, thank you for joining us for another episode of Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. Now, emotions and the way we react to situations can sometimes give values and even etiquette a back seat. That is why for checks and balance, professional ethics exist to provide rules on how people should act in such an environment. In a situation involving physical assault caused by reaction to a story involving torture and injustice against a minor, should a case then be made? Find out why some are speaking out for a human rights show on this. Then, children are the hope of the world. They have the key to a better future, and investments we make in their lives are crucial. On our lineup is a grand celebration to mark Nigerian Children's Day. Then, didn't renowned motivational speaker Zig Ziglar say, if there is hope in the future, there is literally power in the present? True. That is why we are also highlighting an initiative that is preparing children who became orphans, no thanks to banditry, for a better future. We also have cultural celebration of love and events that mirror the ambience of societies. Before we dish out our stories, the news first, and my colleague Elizabeth Omori will take it from Abuja. Hello, Elizabeth, over to you.
Hello, Jennifer, and thank you so much for joining us on the news segment of the program. The Niger State government has confirmed the abduction of children at Salihu Tanko Islamiyya in Tegina Rafi local government area of Niger State. The chief press secretary to the governor, Mary Noel Burgess, says set await security reports on the sad incident. The Imo State Police Command has confirmed the killing of APC stalwart Ahmed Gulak in Owerri on his way to Sam Mbakwe Airport to catch a flight at about 7 o'clock in the morning when armed bandits intercepted and attacked a Toyota Camry cab, conveying him and two others. A statement by the police public relations officer, Bala Elkana, confirmed that Ahmed Gulak left his hotel without any security escorts in view of the fragile security situation in the southeast and Imo in particular. While the cab driver took irregular routes to the airport, 6 armed bandits who rode in a Toyota Sienna car intercepted, identified and shot at Ahmed Gulak at around Umezi, Obiagu in Ungo, Okpala local government area close to the airport. The Commissioner of Police, Imo Command, Abutu Yaro, has directed a discreet investigation into the matter as critical and special forces have been deployed to the area and arrest perpetrators. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has described as heinous the murder of Adama politician Ahmed Gulak in Owerri, Imo State. Reacting to the development on Sunday, the president considers the act as premeditated by evil people who he says are determined to undermine the peace, unity, and territorial integrity of the country. President Buhari, who also expressed his deep condolences to the family, friends, and associates of the deceased, as well as the people and government of Adamawa State, assures that all resources will be deployed to bring the perpetrators of the act to justice. Sympathizers have been trooping to the residence of late Ahmed Gulak in Yola. The chieftain of the All Progressives Congress was murdered in Owerri by unknown gunmen. Bilkisu Abubakar reports.
A former political advisor to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Ahmed Ali Gulak, was assassinated while on national assignment in Owerri by unknown gunmen. The family, Gulak and Duhu Kingdom, confirmed the death, but say the motive behind his killing remains mysterious to them.
The security agencies are on the top of the situation. they are doing their investigation, so we will not preempt their investigation.
But death comes when it comes. There's no something that we can do, but it's very sad news.
Ahmed Ali Gulak, who was a politician throughout his life, held various positions as first speaker in Adamawa State House of Assembly in 1991, a legal advisor to former Vice President Jonathan, PDP Adamawa governorship aspirant in 2014, and national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, as well as traditional title holder of Danmajin Mubi, among others. Until his death, he was a stalwart in All Progressives Congress. Late Gulak left behind an aged mother, wife, 11 children, and siblings. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar, NTA News.
Now, despite earlier announcement by the Imo State government regarding the alleged stay-at-home order by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, streets of Owerri, the state capital, witnessed low turnout of people. Raina Ohiri brings us an update.
The streets of Owerri, including the market, which used to be a beehive of activity for now, is a bit deserted, as most people are indoors as a way of keeping safe, in view of the security breaches being experienced and possibly in response to the alleged stay-at-home order issued by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. Efforts to get reactions from some residents proved abortive as they declined comment. Those who spoke off camera expressed worry over the situation. They, however, experienced the hope that peace will prevail. Meanwhile, the Imo State government, through the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Declan Emelumba, had earlier called on citizens and residents of the state to go about their normal businesses without fear of molestation.
Let our people be rest assured that the government has put all necessary security measures in place to ensure the safety and freedom of movement of all Imo people on these days and even after. So law-abiding citizens should go about their legitimate businesses without any fear or panic.
The people are of the view that caution should be the watchword. In Owerri, Rina Ohiri, NTA News.
INEC office in Njaba, local government area of Imo State, has been set ablaze. Although no life was lost, the building was substantially burnt down, along with electoral materials and office equipment. The incident, which occurred this Sunday, May 30, 2021, brings to 42 the total number of INEC offices attacked nationwide since 2019. INEC, in a statement by its National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, regrets that attacking these offices is not in national interest and has the capacity of compromising electoral activities and credibility of the democratic process. The Kaduna State government calls on the general public to disregard a report by an online media that there was an attack on Judge military base by armed bandits. A statement by Commissioner, Kaduna State Military of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, says the military and other security agencies have informed Kaduna State government that no such incident happened and all personnel stationed at the base are safe and accounted for. 14 of the students abducted by bandits in Greenfield University, Kaduna State, have regained freedom. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that they were released Saturday evening by the abductors in a location near the university along the Abuja-Kaduna highway. With hearts full of joy, the parents reunite with their children who have been in captivity since April 20. Three of the students were found dead few days after their abduction, while two others were again found dead in a village near the university on the 25th day of April. One of the students had earlier regained freedom. And in other news, the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, is on a royal visit to the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewa II, to cement the long-existing bond between the two royal families. At a reception in his honor held at the palace, the Benin monarch congratulated the Emir on his enthronement, describing him as a worthy ambassador of Kano Emirate Council and the country. Adoji Adoba has the reports.
The entourage of the Emir of Kano arrived Benin Airport, received by members of the Benin Traditional Council and Kano indigenes residing in Benin. Thereafter, the entourage proceeded in a convoy through the streets of Benin to Oba's palace. The Oba of Benin, in his address, said the visit clearly demonstrates the age-long tradition and cordial relationship which exists between Benin Kingdom and Kano Emirate.
Your visit today especially marks the opening of new vistas of possibilities and clearly buttresses the age-long traditions of our forefathers.
The Emir Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero described the Benin monarch as his elder brother and said his visit is to preserve the cultural ties between the two Asian kingdoms. He prayed for the nation's peaceful coexistence.
Since that historic visit, Providence has placed us on the throne of our forefathers.
High point was the exchange of cultural gifts.
Thank you very much.
The royal visit is expected to last 3 days. In Benin, Adogbeji Ojegba, NTA News.
Nigerian elites and economic experts have been asked to think outside the box towards improving the nation's revenue base to cater for emerging dynamics of governance. This is the position of Kaduna State Governor Nasru Ahmed El-Rufai and other speakers at the 7th Annual Memorial Lecture of late Premier of Northern Region, Sir Hamadu Bello Mohammed Ajingi reports.
He died about 60 years ago, but his legacies live on. And at the forefront of preserving such legacies are these stakeholders of the region.
Good governance, national security.
This 7th public lecture in honor of late Premier Sir Hamadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto, like previous ones, brings to table critical national issues such as economy, political theatrics, governance structure, and most recent challenges posed by COVID-19.
If you have good quality leadership and the followership is bad, nothing can be achieved.
The problems of this country are systemic problems. They are universal problems, and they need systemic solutions.
If you don't have a production, your productive capacity is not higher than the rate at which you produce babies, we can never get out of poverty.
Prioritizing prudence and fairness in governance, access to education for all, as exemplified by the late Premier, stakeholders say must be entrenched to restore the glory of the region.
The issue in Nigeria, particularly northern Nigeria, is not quantity, but quality.
And if you tell them that people don't go to school, they want to go to school. It is just that some of them can't pay school fees. So we must put a policy in place that enables anybody who wants to go to school to have the school fees paid for.
The foundation is in addition to preserving the legacies of the late Premier training women and youth in various vocational skills. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has commissioned an integrated airport bus terminal in Lagos with a commitment to continue placing premium on development of the huge informal economy associated with the transport operations to improve intra-city movement across the state. Musa Tolia reports.
Of the Mafuluku Integrated Bus Terminal along the International Airport Road has been described as another milestone born out of long-standing effective collaboration between the federal and Lagos state governments to enhance transportation in the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said the project represents conscious efforts to improve intra-city transportation system captured in the Strategic Transport Master Plan of the state. He hinted that both Lamata and Fan will be operating transportation franchises in and out of the Mafuluku terminal.
So this facility
both Lamata and Fan will operate the franchise in and out of this terminal, while Lamata will operate bus services from Mile 2 and Oshodi. Fan, in turn, will run the local and international passenger service out of this station.
The bus terminal built by the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transportation Authority and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria is strategically located to offer seamless and affordable means of transportation to residents in Mafuluku, Ajawo Estate, Oshodi, as well as inbound passengers from Muritala Mohammed International Airport and domestic wing of the airport.
This terminal would enhance the environmental aesthetics of this location and promote orderliness within it, as well as eliminate the menace caused by parking and picking up passengers along the road.
Furthermore, it will open up the airport and adjoining communities to more economic activities.
The governor disclosed that more bus terminals will be delivered in the coming months in Agege, Ojota, and Aja under the first phase of the implementation of Bus Reforms Initiative. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And condolence messages are still pouring in on the death of Ahmed Golak. The chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Rotimi Akeredolu, has described the killing of the former special advisor on political matters in the last administration, Ahmed Golak, as senseless and wicked. The statement signed by the governor said the killing of the All Progressives Congress chieftain is disturbing and shocking. The statement says the perpetrators of this heinous act are enemies of this country, while calling on all security agencies to collaborate with a view to unveiling the criminal elements sponsoring and undertaking terrorist acts. The statement admonished governors in the southeastern states to brace up and confront the current security challenge to put an end to the bloodbath in the land. Christian clerics have continued to pray for the strengthening and sustenance of Nigeria's democracy to attain the much-desired peace and unity for the needed socio-economic development of the country. The chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria and other clerics in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, dedicated time to pray for the country as the nation's democracy clocks 22. Ifoma Aihoje reports.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo.
The adoption of a democratic rule in Nigeria in 1999 was widely embraced and viewed as key to promoting the culture of inclusion for peaceful coexistence, sustainable development, and economic stability. Various administrations have labored to maintain the nation's democracy, though several events have hindered the full actualization of these dreams. The clergy in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, have admonished Nigerian leaders and citizens to keep faith with the country.
Despite the challenges, I think there is still the need for us to give thanks to God.
People cannot be burning people's houses. That's arson. They should be prosecuted. People are killing people. They should be tried for murder.
The chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN Akwa Ibom State, and other clerics pray for the unity, peace, and growth of Nigeria.
I wish Nigeria more democracy in Jesus' name.
We speak peace, we speak expansion, we speak increase upon this nation.
In Nigeria with an enviable economy, in Nigeria where peace and unity thrive, and in Nigeria laced with religious and cultural tolerance, is the Nigeria that the Christian community hopes for. In Uyo, Ifoma Aihoje, NTA News.
Still on peace and security, members of the ECOWAS Parliament have resolved to legislate on regional collaboration to tackle insecurity and other threats to the growth of member states. This follows the presentation of country reports by Guinea-Bissau, Benin and Niger Republic to the Parliament on Nge Fine Face reports.
Plenary received country reports from Benin, Niger and Guinea-Bissau on the political, security, human rights and health situations in those countries.
2 years ago, the head of states met in Burkina Faso, where they agreed to raise up to $1 billion to fight insecurity in the region. Unfortunately, most countries have not been forthcoming with the commitments they've made, and we're beginning to experience more insecurity in the region.
Now the report also covered status of implementation of community texts related to community levy, free movement of persons and goods, as well as equality of rights between women and men.
Allow free goods to come into the country, which is good for everybody, but they use that method to infiltrate bad people into it. If you allow everything to go as is prescribed by ECOWAS, you will see that there will be trouble.
If those at the border post, the custom officials, the military officials are doing their job, the policemen, then illegal entry will not be permitted. When we talk about free movement, we are talking about legitimate free movement.
So the Committee on Peace, Security, African Peer Review should be able to bugger up to this challenge if we are to create an enabling environment for our people in Africa, ECOWAS nation states.
Debate at plenary centered on how to strengthen the capacity of member states to contain the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, insecurity, and factors impeding free movement of persons within the ECOWAS sub-region. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
In recognition of his immense contributions to the growth and development of the judicial system in the country, students of the Faculty of Law of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, in collaboration with the University Authority, have honored the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed. The students joined a public presentation of the maiden edition of Arnold Chambers' Annual Journal of Contemporary Issues in Sharia and Comparative Law, described the CJN as a big source of inspiration, noting that as an alumni, his antecedents are a source of huge pride to the institution. The CJN urged the students to maintain the periodic publication of the journal in line with objectives of the chambers, describing it as the first of its kind in Africa. An unidentified woman lost her life instantly in an accident along Zaria and Kano Highway this evening after a fuel-laden truck crushed the vehicle with which she and her driver were traveling in. The accident, according to eyewitness account, was as a result of the two vehicles avoiding bad portions of the road, as ongoing work on reconstruction of the highway is yet to reach the axis. The deceased woman and driver in critical condition have been taken to the General Hospital, Markafi Town of Kaduna State. In town now to talk sports, and Bade Adeleye will be our guide.
Welcome to sports. All right, let's begin with the Nigeria Professional Football League, as Akwa United are back atop the league standings after, defeating rivals Kwara United in a match day 24 encounter. It was a hard-fought, win for them, and it was decided earlier this evening in New York. And Akwa United now have 45 points from 24 games. After the game, NTA caught up with some of the coaches.
Of the match, because before this game we knew what we wanted to have after the game, because we needed to win to consolidate on our top position, so we had to go all out, and we thank God that's really paid off.
I think we did very well. This is not the game we're supposed to lose. I never complain about the officiating, but this is not acceptable at all. We did the same thing against Rivers. Our player got a straight red card on the penalty. The same thing here. I don't think if we continue this way, it's the coaches that always face the music. It's just a terrible.
Kano Pillars dropped to second on inferior goal difference after being forced to a goalless stalemate by home team Plateau United at the New Jos Stadium. Same was also the case for Imba International, who settled for a share of the spoils with Heartland FC. Nasarawa United beat Adamawa United 1-0, while Lubi Stars recorded a 2-1 win over Sunshine Stars. Esebrume boosted Nigeria's hopes of winning medals in the athletics event of the forthcoming Tokyo 2020 Olympics as she raised the Nigerian and African women's long jump record of 7.12 meters set 25 years ago by Chioma Njuma at the 1996 Olympics. Brume set a new record of 7.17 meters at the Chula Vista Field Festival in California, USA, to earn the farthest distance any woman has jumped in 2021. Meanwhile, Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dari, has commended Esebrume for her record-setting performance, just as he expressed optimism that her latest feat will help propel her to secure a podium finish at the Tokyo Olympics. Dari also hopes other Nigerian athletes will draw inspiration from Brume's success story. And finally, Osheviri Anega has won the maiden Governor Dure National Scrabble Open Championship in Bayelsa with 11 games out of 15 to finish with a total of 617, while Etakaro finished second with 560. Ikoko David dominated the students category with 7 wins out of 8 games, with a cumulative of 1,545, with Deborah Quickpen finishing second with a cumulative of 1,117. Other sports is back to Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Buddy. In Sports Update ends the news segment of the program. Don't forget to connect with us at the NTA. Stand against rape and rapists. Newsline continues with Jennifer with Abampa. Stay with us.
You can get more news and updates on www.nta.ng or follow us on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NTA Network News. And also stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Also remember to watch our news live streaming at www.nta.ng/live.
Please go to the market and get me everything I need to cook this food. Get my pepper and get my onions. I'm waiting. Do you know how to buy pepper? Do you know how to buy sachet? You won't even let my mother come and stay. I need help. You don't know how stressful it is taking care of these 3 kids. Are you still there? If you're not getting me fresh meat, do you understand?
Okay, I'm at the
Can
meat.
you switch to video call, please? Okay, give me that one. The one by your side.
Hey, please.
Where do I buy all these things now?
Hey, go get Glow Berekete and call madam.
Berekete. The heavyweight voice and data plan. Get 600 naira free credit plus 700% bonus on every recharge and up to 100% bonus on data plans.
I am with you at every stage of your life, providing comfort when you are keeping fit, comfort when you are expecting your bundle of joy, comfort during motherhood, comfort in your office, comfort in your car, comfort when sharing a meal, comfort at bedtime. From cradle to grey, there's comfort for you with Vitafoam. Quality is vital. Quality is Vitafoam. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
What's the difference between regular data and MTN data? I'll show you. With regular data, you get this. But with MTN data, you get moved right into the action, like this. And this. And this. And this. With MTN data, you don't just get more, you experience more. Need loads of data to live your dream? Turn it up on MTN, the reliable data network.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. As his mother, it is my duty to help him live up to his dream. That's why I give him Born Vita every day, which contains iron, zinc, and vitamin C that supports his immunity and gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Born Vita, strength to dream.
Taste is key and that's how we communicate. Best nourishment in every school. Mama, tasty mama, share the love. We all together. I love my mama. Mama, tasty. No
best scoop of tasty nourishment.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, FNCS, FBCS, FIIM, cordially invites the general public to the virtual launching of the National Policy on Virtual Engagement in the Public Service and the virtual commissioning of 4 digital economy projects for a digital Nigeria. These are the Emergency Communications Center, Akure, Ondo State, Digital Economy Center, Delta State University, Abraka, Delta State, Digital Economy Center, Government Secondary School, Rigasa, Kaduna State, and construction of Digital Economy Center, Federal University, Gashua, Yobe State. The program is scheduled to hold as follows.
Monday, 31st May, 2021.
Time 11 a.m. Venue Microsoft Teams. Announcer Dr. Noyen Wachuku, Acting Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy.
Here today, gone tomorrow. 'Cause you volatile like the water. And you promise what you don't know. Sometimes it's right and then it's so wrong. Them go do like say them why. We promise you the world. My brother all now worship. Up all on no be open eye. I see no be water. Like you up the letter.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. Now, 60 boys who lost their parents to banditry in Zamfara and were forced out of their homes are now receiving rare educational training. 4 voluntary organizations are working together to see that these boys have a brighter future, and the signs are good. Hamis Rogo tells the story.
I stand to be corrected, but no landmark identifies Zamfara State more like Dutsen Kwatarkwashi does. It is a historical colossus that has seen cultures evolved and cultures died. It has seen epic wars fought and powers shift in its natural transitions through time. Dutsen Kwatarkwashi has not been a mere rock formation. It has been a human settlement at both its peak and at its base in all the days of its life. There is a deliberate effort in Zamfara now to see to the emergence of new colossus, this time human beings and not mountain ranges. We came to Bongudu, where there is a program in a community called Rega for children that have been opened by the insurgency that has been around that area. But come to think of it, this community decided on assisting the open, some of them which are here, was something different. And you know what is happening? What is taking place is a master stroke. Over the years, Zamfara State found itself grappling with the activities of bandits. These bandits operate in remote communities so often, visiting mayhem on farming and pastoral communities. Many a community come to find death where it only looks for sleep, and survivors were forced out to life unknown. Concerned by the sights of children who lost virtually all to bandits, the force system joined hands to do something different to guarantee the future of some 60 children. Emir of Bungudu, Hassan Atahiru, is at the head of this endeavor.
The 4 of us came and sought for a solution or some intervention in even a small way that we could elevate children who have been orphaned. So as God will have it, we came together, we sought for various options of where they will stay, what they will do, what programs will be mapped out. And having knowledge of what the CSPDP is doing, we contacted this through the Eruga community, and were able to get intervention of this place. And you could see how impressive it has been.
What this system do is to fashion out a special and ambitious education program to lift the children out of despair to the certainty of life of knowledge. It is education anchored on innovation, creativity and skills development. It is also education in science. The story of it is that none of these children is 10 years yet, but 2 years into that training, magic is coming out of their head. Ubaidullah has seen his parents killed. They live in a remote village in Bungudu. Apparently, he has never heard of ATM or even seen one. The education he is going through now inform him about ATM and what it does differently. At a period, they come to Abuja for a program. There, he was shown ATM in real life and he touched it. Today, Ubaidullah had made his own ATM and it is dispensing money. My only anxiety is that Ubaidullah's ATM only displays notes of 5 naira, 10 naira and 20. But you can't deny his progress. Their children fabricate every imaginable and unimaginable technologies. Ma'aruf fabricates his solar-powered fan. Rais has his flying boat floating. They design a spaceship and solar system. Some technologies are taking place in this place. Much as is happening to these open children now, there is enough goodwill for their education to be sustained.
The house came to be, as I said, in 2019. We have teachers that we employ. We have cooks, as you can see. We have matrons that take care of the children. We supply them with all the needs.
As much as support as the children are getting now, they are the pioneers of this intervention and the last to benefit from it.
We are hoping for the boys to become something in life. We want them to stand on their own so that they can face the society later and they will be able to help others. We want these boys themselves to be the ones running this house, making the future better for other children in their capacity.
A lot of ambition is invested in these boys to grow to a life of duty. For now, the school is their father and their mother, and it is their village too, because they have no relations to go to and no village to go back to. But they have a start in life they probably would never have dreamt of.
Exceptional kids, indeed. Now, nothing like keeping hope alive, thanks to the organizations. Now, when a passenger boards a vehicle, the prayer is usually for journey mercies and safe arrival at destination. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Unfortunately, this was the case of a 17-year-old who left Abuja for Lagos but found herself in Sokoto. Dalhatu Abdullahi tells us the story.
17-year-old Minat Abdullahi is an indigenous of Osun State. Minat's mom died 3 years ago and her father fell ill 2 years back, and his younger sister Rukayat Rufai visited him from Abuja, and due to his state of health, she took Minat back to Abuja. Minat has now graduated from secondary school at Success Model College in Gwagwalada area and decided to move to Lagos, where her elder brother lives, because living with the aunt was becoming unbearable.
The way the woman is maltreating me in Abuja is very wrong, and I stayed with him for 3 years so that I should just finish my secondary school and go for my poly. So when I see that the situation is too much and I can't handle it again, I decided to stay with my brother in Lagos.
After talking to her elder brother in Lagos, Minat's aunt Rukayat arranged for her to leave for Lagos. Minat left Abuja last week, Sunday, 23rd May 2021, in a commercial cab which came to her aunt's house to pick her. There were 2 passengers and the driver, and Minat joined them. As the journey progressed, the 2 passengers disembarked at different points.
When you reach a place, one will come down, he will give the driver slang like this. And the driver will do like this. So that thing, me, my brain just they crack. I just they see that, what's all this that someone will come down, who is going to be doing like this. The second one to do like this. Kongo, skingis kangas Congo. I need this. Skingis Congo, skanga, skingis kanga. And then they wonder that what's meaning of skingis, Congo, skagaska. Me, I even they use it to joke that I will use this thing to joke with my youngest ones, like my brother children at home. I will use that thing to joke with them if I get to Lagos.
And Minat found herself in Sokoto. She said she slept in an uncompleted building and she was found by a good Samaritan roaming the streets at Arkilla area in Wamako local government of Sokoto State. The person took her to the Ife Progressive Cooperative Union in Sokoto, and the leadership reported the case to the police.
Whenever you put your child, and most especially in this time of risky we are in Nigeria now, you're supposed to be monitoring. Either 1 hour, you should be giving call to him or her.
Minat had called her aunt's line while on transit and she did not pick. Her elder brother picked when she called. However, when she called him later, he had switched off his line, and her aunt's line too had been switched off.
I want them to know that I'm in Sokoto, that I'm not dying or I'm not lost.
The Sokoto State Police Command says investigations have commenced to find Minat's family.
We will now step up our investigation on these contacts and make sure that we locate whoever is in the family so that they can come and take her.
Minat is now under the care of the Ife Progressive Cooperative Union in Sokoto while the search for her family continues.
Now, I pray she finds her family, and it's important for us to monitor people when they travel. Now, Children's Day is celebrated to increase awareness on the rights, well-being, and education of children. To mark this year's Nigerian Children's Day, NTA Knowledge organized a party at the NTA Arena loaded with excitement. It left smiles of fulfillment in the air. Veronica Emmanuel reports.
That was the ambience at the NTA Arena, Abuja, as it came alive when children from different backgrounds assembled to celebrate their day. 14-year-old Teresa Opai, though with special needs, did not allow her condition to rob her of the day's merriment. A student at the Abuja School for the Deaf Kuje, Teresa's schoolmates and children from other schools had good time. And these were some moments that thrilled the audience.
Restorers of peace, settlers of disputes, menders of broken homes.
Guests at the event used the opportunity to advise parents, teachers, and the society at large to collectively work towards curtailing spread of COVID-19 pandemic and unleashing the talent in the Nigerian child as leaders of tomorrow.
Basic thing is for them to concentrate on their learning.
Hinges on society in total also to come to the aid of the vulnerable.
We can only encourage them to be hardworking, to be studious, to be disciplined.
I pray to God to give me the grace to get a job as a doctor because I want to be a doctor. Children's Day is fine. With Children's Day, I come here and I'm learning a lot from people. I also see future leaders like me.
Children's Day means a lot to me. It makes me feel happy because it makes me know that, yes, children are valued.
It's a very significant day for me because it's a special day that all children in the world can get celebrated.
The team for the 2021 edition unite to reverse the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children perfectly suits their mood.
Children are the future, so deserve the very best. Thank you, NTA Knowledge. Now, although there has been a national outcry and attendant consequences on incessant rape and defilement of minors in recent years, the issue is still rearing its ugly head. As an 11-year-old Fatima, an orphan of Tundun Amba, a suburb of Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, is still traumatized and trying to recover from the harrowing sexual assault by a rapist. Let's hear from Mary Domtor, who followed up the case.
In Lafia, most teenagers at the age of Fatima are always helping their parents to hug as a means of getting small earnings. Fatima was on that line of daily duty on the fateful day when she ran out of luck when one of her customers, having patronized her, chased her into the bush and raped her. Because of the fear of stigmatization, the community wanted to cover up, but her uncle's wife raised an alarm, and the suspect, an 18-year-old boy by name Musa Ali, was arrested and is being prosecuted.
All we
want is justice for Fatima. At the time when other children were carried away by the euphoria of celebrating their International Day, Fatima was in pains and shame as she remained indoors, except when she wants to go to the hospital. The Nasarawa State Police Command confirmed the incident with an assurance of prosecuting the suspects.
Was on her way going home when he accosted her, took her into his sugarcane farm, unlawfully had carnal knowledge of her, and threatened her not to inform anybody. On the receipt of that information, the suspect was arrested by the divisional police officer, D Division. The suspect has been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department, Lafia, for an exhaustive investigation.
While the case lingers, Fatima is still bleeding as the family appealed for assistance from well-spirited individuals to ensure that she gets justice, which will serve as deterrent to would-be rapists.
No excuse for rape. We must all stand against rape and rapists, so justice must be served. You're watching Newsline. There's much more to come. Stay tuned.
Luxury Abuja. Big, back, and better.
It is time for celebration. Oh. 30 years bustling with goodness. Eh. No challenge can ever stop us. You can't underrate us. You can't underrate. Ultra Guinness, bustling with so much greatness. Ultra Guinness, enjoy our world of good.
ones will rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
Yummy times 2.
It's so good eating together with the family.
Thanks to Sonia. Sonia tomato mix brings you together.
We have that available.
Babes, are you hungry?
Famished.
Just always remember, you deserve a break.
Yes, we can provide.
You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury hot chocolate. Cadbury hot chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
My name is Chikwe Iyakwazu. I lead the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. I'm extremely privileged to have gotten this vaccine today. Really, I accept it really on behalf of all the healthcare workers, public health workers. I've really spent the last 12 months working so incredibly hard on this response. And I think it provides hope. You know, this vaccine really provides us an opportunity to reinvigorate ourselves as we sustain the response in Nigeria. So this vaccine provides us a real shot at life. But, you know, that shot will come into effect when we have most of the population vaccinated. We have to keep washing our hands, wearing our masks, keeping apart from each other until we have enough people vaccinated in the country. And I'm sure we'll get there.
Welcome back. Now, it was pageantry and a spectacular display of royalty as one of the influential traditional rulers in Nigeria and a bridge builder between the South and the North, His Royal Highness King Apollos II, the Onechenia X of Eleme Kingdom, as he gave out his first daughter, Princess Mma's hand in marriage. Ijoma Ugwekwe reports that it was a display of affluence and traditions of Eleme Kingdom in Rivers State as notable personalities graced the ceremony in grand style.
It was a carnival of some sort as Ogale community in Eleme and its environs stood still in admiration of the newest bride as she made known her marriage to Ajiri Ogene Elaye from Delta State. The ceremony was a sight that could not be forgotten in a hurry. Princess Mma's first outing drew guests, relatives and friends out from their seats. The search for her husband followed after welcoming royalties, among whom is the Emir of Kano, His Royal Highness Aminu Ado Bayero, government officials, including representative of Nigeria's First Lady, Honorable Kabiru Dodo, and other notable personalities, all from different parts of the country. The duo, who was the center of attraction, received royal blessings from the monarch, King Apollos II, and other royal fathers.
Let me introduce
I want God to give them strength to
overcome their trial time and wanted to prosper than me, they should be humble, respect humanity, respect everybody.
Pray that our life will be greater than anybody on earth.
Majesty has shown that he is a true Nigerian. He has covered everywhere. Therefore, my wish for the couples is long-lasting relationship between her husband.
He's a bridge builder. He has been trying to unite people, and you can see from the number of people that come from the northern part of the country for this wedding, definitely the king is doing very well.
I actually appreciate our colleague, Apollo Chu. He has been a very, very strong bridge builder, connecting south and north. And you can see the era of traditional rulers from the north coming to attend this very, very august wedding of his daughter. We pray Almighty God to give the couple a very blissful married life.
What really attracted me to her was her humility. She's very, very humble and very straightforward.
Different cultural troops from Bida, Niger State, and parts of River State entertained guests.
Congratulations to the traditional ruler and the young couple. Now, when a man works hard, commendations and eulogies follow. It is in view of this that the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, was honored by the Global Initiative for Leadership and Diligence in Service to Humanity. Omenka Amarachuku was at the colorful event in Abuja.
Rising through the ranks and playing roles in leadership position has contributed to national development is earning these Nigerians a recognition from Global Initiative for Leadership Success as it beamed its searchlight for promoting good leadership. The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, and other Nigerians were honored fit in those who have filled the requirements.
Their need of good leadership, that is our problem. From our communities, from the church, from the faith organizations, every society, everywhere, this problem of leadership. And so we want to, in our corner, or from our corner, play some role to see that this country, to see that African continent, to see that the world gets better leaders.
Represented by the Deputy Director News, NTA, Ayo Adewi, NTA is known for promoting unity and inculcating good values among Nigerians.
It's a continuous one, and that is why the NTA will always support organizations like this that is engendering discussions and sustaining discussions on this very important issue confronting not only Nigeria but the whole world.
For the other awardees, the award will serve as a moral booster.
I believe it's a call for me to do more in terms of leadership roles and also to be a champion of integrity.
Very fantastic award. It's an award that recognizes the role of, outstanding leaders in the society.
An opportunity to think more, do more, and of course expand the frontier of creating more value for our dear country, Nigeria.
It's a call for you to do better than what you are doing.
The award for these distinguished Nigerians is expected to help in reshaping many minds for good leadership.
Congratulations to our DG and all those who got awards. Now, what is worth doing, they say, is worth doing well. And for things to be done right, some level of diligence is required. Going by tradition, Nigeria is home to many duly diligent people. However, the advent of westernization and improved technology, rather than boosting this number, seems to be aiding its decline. Daniel Aderiye in this report examines the importance of due diligence and why it is necessary for sustained national unity.
The Nigerian society from time immemorial has always been associated with the concept of hard work, competence and due diligence. However, fast eroding cultural values of family upbringing have been highlighted as some of the contributing factors to the decline in due diligence among Nigerians.
Family values are eroded. You see children do opposite of what most families have taught them. The things they've been taught in the family are not the things you see them do outside. And then sometimes families are not there for people. So in the National Orientation Agency, our strong point on this subject is that we should start from the family. That the family is where people are molded.
Nigerians, however, who form a major part of this discourse, had quite a few things to say on the subject matter.
We don't do what we should do. It then means that those that feel like doing what they should do have learned that there is no benefit in doing what they should do. So everybody does the shortest thing, the easiest thing for them.
You see some organizations today, they are paying maybe a company, the bid is paying them 30,000 or 50,000 naira, and what they are remitting to the workers is 12, 10,000. At the end, some of them, at the end of the month, they will now be looking for issues to cut down their salary. Are you now expecting this kind of people, to work with due diligence?
The family is the smallest unit in the society, and they are the ones that make up a society. So the family should be the first to institute these values, first of all, that there's no shortcuts anywhere. And then from there, we can now begin to graduate to the school, then to the religious bodies.
First of all, we need to know that there are problems in this country. Understanding the fact that we have a problem in this country is one of the basic things. Then secondly, all religious people need to put hands together and be one. Pray for this country, and I believe everything will work out well.
In the words of a great historian, work is good, but good work is even better. So whatever thy hand findeth to do, be sure to do it well.
Now, due diligence can help to foster growth, indeed. Now, when emotions are high, anything could happen, but taking control of such and staying calm is wisdom. This takes us to a story that is still trending on the mainstream and social media platforms. It is the video of a popular radio and TV presenter of the human rights broadcasting station, Ahmed Issa, who assaulted a woman during one of his live shows. While the debate is still on about the ethics of the profession, some Nigerians are speaking up for the man they know as the ordinary president. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim tells us more.
Chukwuemeka is a taxi driver. Unlike many Nigerians, irrespective of their position at home and abroad, tune in to listen or watch live on radio and television the program Berikiti Family, one of the most popular radio and television shows in Nigeria, which is said to stand for the right of the ordinary citizen. For over a decade, the afflicted, among other less privileged, were believed to have been empowered through the Berikiti Family show, anchored by Ahmed Issa.
Injustice. If I say he's our Messiah of the current time, if I say he's the incoming Messiah, where don't come now?
Ordinary Ahmed is the father of ordinary Nigerians. So I will count no less than 1, 2, 3 to 5 or 10 persons I know that have benefited from Ahmed's gesture.
One experience is when the VIO is pursuing us from here and there, destroying our properties. He's one of the people that come out for taxi drivers.
Even on the battlefield, there are rules of engagement. But recently, the ethics of the man who described himself as the ordinary president was queried when he was seen assaulting a woman during his live program. These went viral in a short documentary by the BBC, which also got the street talking.
Thank you. We are all still in our comfort zone and feel crucifying the man from a distance. If that child was your child, that his head was burnt on his core, what would be your reaction? So he acted as a father at that moment.
Although he has since tendered apology for his actions and granted police invitation for questioning, many of his supporters say they are unfathomed.
I stand here as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to still tender apology on his behalf.
Even in your house, if you are trying to be a good person, you may be having the enemy to destabilize you or use you.
Meanwhile, the show may still go on, but the dust is yet to settle, as investigation into the activities of the Human Rights Radio and Television has been launched by regulatory bodies. And until then, to err is human, but to forgive is divine. So says the people.
The important thing is that he has apologized, and it is important to stick to ethics of the profession. Now, before the democratic era, the title honorable was not common. Today, it is fast becoming a household name for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. The question is, who should be addressed as honorable? Let's join Nsikak Okon to find out who rightly deserved the title.
Though we live in a society where the mighty and the little crave for titles, it can never be out of stock. With the current democratic setting, it appears that everyone gets safe landing with the title honorable. However, there is need to really find out whether those who answer honorable deserve to be addressed or are really honorable as they claim.
It has been abused by politicians who have no regard for respect for fellow humans, respect for principles.
I understand that it is when you've stood an election that people tend to call you honorable. But for me, I think that title should only be given to people who deserve it.
But let's find out who should be addressed as honorable.
Is a person who has been elected to a legislative house and has earned the honor of his people. Not somebody who has been appointed as a supervisor in a local government, or PA to PA, or PA to a councillor, or PA to a minister.
People that are in the National Assembly are supposed to have been assessed before voted into power. That's why they are called honorable members. So they call them honorable members. But that does not stop calling those men that are honorable in nation as honorable members.
Has accountability, has integrity, and is honest in all honesty.
Are those that we have elected into public office living up to the expectation? I won't agree. Most of them are not. Some maybe, but majority no.
So everything should just be scrapped. Let everybody calm down, be your mistake or misses or whatever the case may be, and then let your deed, let what you do, your achievements in life, your records in public office be those or that which should accord you the title of honorable.
Honorable man, like the drama that took place in the Webster House Assembly some years ago. We'll start a fight in the house, remove his shoe, jump the fence. Is that an act of an honorable person? That's the word. Go back to the National Assembly some years ago. Honorable men will put up their akpada, carry chair, and beat another honorable member. Is that an honorable act?
Let's also hear from the honorable.
Honorable is that you have graduated from the position of thinking about yourself due to the position of thinking and working for the public. Honorable is because you now earn the public trust and you're working for the trust of the people. That makes you honorable.
I think the title of honorable is an etiquette for addressing certain offices, but adding rectitude to it is necessary. Now, time for another break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Times are tough. We know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. Its great value, it protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
In my house, we may look alike, but we are very different individuals. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber, and non-sticky. So you can cook, serve, and eat your pasta just the way you like it. With Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
'Cause I'm the new best thing. I'm the new best thing. Better than you've ever seen.
Discover new Guinness Smooth. Perfectly balanced for a smooth, refreshing taste.
I'm the new best thing.
Sunday on Nigerian Idol, the voting lines will open for your top 11. And looking for your support are Akuna, Beyonce, Clinton, Comfort, Daniel, Dotun, Emmanuel, Faith Mac, Francis, and Kingdom. Nigeria, you take control from this Sunday. So register to vote for free on our website now to ensure your favorite stays on the show. The Top 11 live this Sunday at 7. This is Nigerian Idol.
Proudly sponsored by Biggie Drinks, Nigeria's favorite, and Techno Mobile.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Welcome back. A romantic connection between two people can sometimes lead to marriage. However, it has been observed that most relationships do not end in marriage because some people would rather remain single because they have a phobia for marriage. Chinenye Nwoye takes it from here.
Research has shown that most spinsters and bachelors love the active life of singledom, and when it comes to committing to someone in marriage, they feel a deep knot of anxiety in their stomach. With the belief that marriage is for life, for better, for worse, and not a bed of roses, as often said, many people get cold feet about marriage or committing to another person. They think of how they will deal with the storm that will arise in the marriage, among others.
Because marriage is not something you just go into and jump out immediately. You have to know the person very well, know if you can stay. Some people like dating, they like the person is beautiful, she's presentable, I want to hang out with my friends, I'll go out with her. So if the person doesn't have a good character, the person can enjoy a relationship, but marriage, no, the person can't.
Girls of nowadays are difficult to predict. You can never predict the person to marry. You get confused.
The fear of marriage, experts say, can, however, arise from negative experiences of marriage witnessed in one's own family close circle. They were of the view that the idea of being attached to one person also makes some people think that it is better to live alone. The same vision, drive, independence, and sense of adventure with which they navigate their lives as individuals simultaneously makes them afraid to dedicate themselves to one person in marriage. Respondents believe that making a commitment to marry is a huge decision and a big unknown while still being single, and they say it is helpful to get acclimated to the environment of marriage and find concrete examples of married couples who still have a romantic spark and who have the type of life and love they want.
Like myself, I'm a married man, though I don't club. My wife don't club, but once in a while we go out.
Now, all relationships must not end in marriage, because they say a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. But hey, marriage is beautiful with the right person, so no need for phobia. Now, Nigeria, as we know, is a society that hallows cultural and religious myths or legends. While some may have been lost to the times, others have persisted. One of such myths is that of left hand. Yes, your very own left hand. Daniel Aderiye in this special report goes in search of answers to why the left hand in most cases connotes so much negativity and in some cases discrimination.
Now, just so you know, I am not left-handed, although there are times I really wished I was. But for those of us who grew up in a Nigerian society like ours, there were times our parents would tell us things like, never collect or receive gifts from people who give to you with the left hand. We never asked questions. We were kids after all. But many years later, we're all grown. For some of us, already have children. We've stayed with this ideology and even passed it down to our children. But no one has actually ever asked this question. Where did this myth about the left hand come from? Who brought it? And why does it still exist after so many years?
In the 18th and the 19th century, generally and globally, it was viewed as being ritualistic. If somebody offers a gift or collects something from somebody with a left hand. But even as the time things began to evolve, we discovered that from the West first, we discovered that most of these things were considered as only being taboos. But up to today, the taboo is still here with us in Nigerian culture.
Detailed as Mr. Olowo's submission was, a part of me felt I should dig even further, probably find the possible spiritual undertone to this long-standing myth.
Everybody described Nigeria as being very spiritual. It is the inbuilt thing that is in us that we want spiritual reason to everything which we do. The same thing now comes to doing things in the right, doing things by the left. To us, it is highly spiritual that whatever you want to do starts from the right. When anything that is good starts from the right, anything that is not is from the left. When you are going, if you hit your right leg on a particular stone, it means you have gotten a sign that this thing is very good. If it is left, then you go back home to go and restart again.
Jesus is seated at the right hand of God. It does not necessarily connote that the left hand of God, there's nothing like that in the Bible anyway. It does not connote as if there's one part of God that is more God than other. Scripture does not actually, in the real sense of it, belittles one hand.
Francis is one of the few left-handed people in the world.
I use left, but since people don't normally use left hand, if I want to give somebody something, I use right hand. But I don't know the meaning why people saying that it's not good for you to collect something from left hand.
Both hands are hands. There's nothing different from right and left.
There are some people that have leprosy in their right hand. So does it mean they won't use the left hand?
The left hand cannot be bad. God created everybody.
As it is, no one knows for sure where, when, or how this myth came to be in the first place. But one thing we do know is that God created man with two hands, and that is the left and the right hands, for the sole purpose of aiding mobility and, more importantly, making life and work easier.
Now, misinformation and ignorance are reasons why some myths thrive. We'll take another break now, and it is certainly no myth.
Classes on television for students in secondary schools in English and mathematics will commence on the NTA. The revision classes will transmit Mondays to Fridays from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA. This is organized in preparation for the various national examinations and orders. This is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Education.
My name is Boss Mustafa, the Secretary to the Government and the Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. I've just had the rare privilege of taking my first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and I can tell you that we are doing very well in terms of our response and the administration of the vaccines all over the country. As strategic leaders, we are supposed to lead by example, and the President did precisely that on Saturday with the Vice President, and we are continuing in that particular direction. The essence of taking these vaccines is to help us really fight this COVID-19 virus, and the combination of the non-pharmaceutical measures and the vaccine is the way to go in 2021 and thereafter.
Welcome back. Now, until recent years, some jobs were exclusively reserved for men. However, due to the changing times, some women go the extra mile by doing just any legit job to put food on the table, including odd jobs. From Ebonyi State, Chinaza John beams the searchlight on women who have become the major workforce at the Quarry Industrial Estate in Isa North Council area of the state.
This is Ebonyi Industrial Cluster, one of the biggest actually in Nigeria. It is located in Okwoshi Umohara in Ezanot local government area of Ebonyi State. One astonishing thing about this cluster is that 95% of workers here are women. These women come out as early as 6 in the morning to start struggling for the day's earnings. Most times, to avoid distractions, they strap their babies to their back while churning out stones from under the rollers. Because of this level of commitment and the seemingly hazardous nature of their job, one would think they are paid thousands of naira each day.
700, 600, 500.
Ordinarily, the job demands that these women wear nose masks to shield them from dust that emanates from the stones. But even with the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic, they still do not put on protective gears, as some of them claim it makes them uncomfortable. Some are widows, while majority of them have dependents, including their husbands. For them, their situation leaves them with no other alternative than to continue struggling for the upkeep of their families.
I have no parents. I no go for 5 years.
I have worked here for 5 years. Any other job provided for me would be better than this. My husband hardly provides for us, so I came here because I need money. I pay my school fees from the money I earn here because I want to go to school. Pitiable as this seems, some men interviewed queried those men who leave their wives to suffer in such a manner when they can actually help out.
If you go to our villages, you see people who do not do anything, people that have no good means of livelihood, marrying 2, 3, 4 wives, and they breed like rats. And some women in such situation, to make ends meet, the only option they have is to go to the quarry and help themselves.
It is terrible for a man to allow his own wife to go into such odd job.
It's a known fact that for the country to experience all-round development, some set of people must do this kind of job. That is why they are calling for the improvement of their working condition so that they can at least man home at the end of the day. Also appealing to government to ensure that various empowerment opportunities get to these women to improve their living standard, as well as enact laws that makes wearing of nose mask compulsory at the site to safeguard their lives.
A lot needs to be done for the health of those women, and they deserve better pay. And something also should be done about their children and the pregnant women. Now, this is where we'll end Newsline for today. Hope to see you again Sunday next week. And remember that we can build our nation by showing love to each other. Until next week, God bless Nigeria.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Time and space are two extremes, and in between these two extremes lie the human being. There he, tried to X some life and make a living out of it. For space, you could have as much as you can because it's very much available. And then for time, it's always constantly moving, and that makes it difficult for the human being to so much control it to his own liking. That is why most people complain that 24 hours may not be enough in a day. But you can't have more than that. That's the bad news. But the good news is that whatever it is with time, you, the person, is the pilot. You decide on what to do with the time. You give it the value you want to so that you can reap the best benefit out of it. This is not by the way. My name is Yusuf Nadabo Usman, and the program is Reflections. We're reaching you from the Nigerian Television Authority. This week, we shall try to look at these two extremes and how our personality fit into them and made the mark in life. My personality is an activist. She is a poet. She is an author. She is an author, that is. And indeed, she is the first female Hausa writer of note in northern Nigeria. My personality is 69 years old. She is no any other person but Hafsat Abdul Wahid Ahmed. Welcome to Reflections, Ma.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear from you. Who is Hafsat Abdul Wahid Ahmed?
Well, Hafsat Abdul Wahid was a writer. I was born in Kano, 1952. And both my father and my grandfather was living in Kano. So I was born in Kano, 1952, and then I attended primary school, Shahuchi Primary School. And then my father was transferred to Kaduna, and I attended an LEA primary school. Again, he was transferred to Zaria. I attended Nurul Huda primary school. Then I went back to Kano to Provincial Girls School, which later turned into Shekara Girls Secondary School. Well, my educational background stopped at that. I did attend some private school, like Correspondence College, Bennett, Correspondence College, London, to attain my diploma. That is where I stopped.
Then what about Islamic education?
Well, my Islamic education is at home, because both my grandfather and my father are teachers. So he taught us everything at home. Well, I did go up to, I think, SOP 37, then from there, then it's just reading Islamic books, you know.
Your father and your grandfather were teachers.
Yes, and they are writers.
Can I easily assume that you were just born into the writing family? That is why you got your acumen to continue? Correct,
yes. I did, because my father was writing. Even before I started primary school, I could read and write, because he taught us home. I started primary school at the age of 6, but before that I could read and write, even though it is mostly in Hausa, you know, and in Fulfulde, my language. So writing is just something I grew up with. My father wrote, but most of their books, you know, they write in Islamic books, not our type of writing, you know. It is just now I have a lot of Islamic books. I even have given 2 for publishing. But I started writing Islamic books at the late age. Most of my writing is fiction, you know, when people start accusing women of destroying marriages, you know, giving a lot of kaya lefe and so on and so forth. You know, most of the time our people, especially the men, they put all the blame on the woman side, not thinking about the other side, whether they spend money, you know, we buy beds, we furnish the house for the man. But all this, it is turned aside and they just talk about lefe and sadaki.
Let's look at the initial stage, given the fact that people who want to know, especially those coming up, and then maybe draw some inspiration from that. When did you start publishing your book? I learned that you started, you know, writing your stories and your fiction stories, your books, at the age of maybe, was it in primary 3 or thereabout?
Well, I was in primary 5 when my senior sister got married. And she married an Arab man, a Libyan. As you know, in Nigeria, I believe the people who are most about their tribes is the Fulanis. So there is a lot of contradiction inside the issue of the marrying a foreigner. So I wrote that one because we were asked to write a short story in school. And I even got a prize for that. So I wrote her story and got a prize. But then later on, 1972, I think, or 71, I'm not sure. It was between 70 and 72. I entered a competition in Zaria and got my first book published. That is So Aljanna Dunia. I got a second position in that.
Who organized the competition?
New Nigerian Publishing Company, under Abakar Imam and this person in Zaria, I forgot his name, Bamali. So I did the competition, I came second. So Aljanna Dunia, it is my sister's story, but I put something inside just to make the book attractive.
Was it in Hausa or in English?
In Hausa. Before I wrote it in English in school. I won I got some prize for it in English. But then when this competition came up, it was in Hausa. So I translated it into Hausa and I got a second position for that. Okay. And even at that time, I think I have around 10 to 15 short stories already. But I didn't bother publishing till after this, my first book was published.
Can you remember how many books you've written so far?
Wow. Well, I can't remember exactly because even now I have around 30 or a bit more than 30. Complete ones there, I assure you I have 20, which I have money now I will publish.
Oh, they haven't been published yet?
No, not yet.
How many of these books have been published so far?
Well, 5. I think I have So Aljanna Dunia, Sabat and Sababi, Nasiha Gama Aura, Yaddubu Me Tambotsai, and these English poems. I have 5, but there are 4 coming up, maybe ending up next month. And 2 of them are religious, but 2 of the other one are fictitious, because this Sabat and Sababi was a challenge. Professor Manumpashi used to accuse of and tell us that there is no writer like Imam in the North, and there will never be anybody like Imam. So when I get fed up with the way he is talking to us, I told him that if it is taking something from another book and writing it, I will do better than Imam. Because Imam has never written any book on his own. All his books are written either with a European or translated from an Arabic book. Like Magana Jari, it was translated from Arabic book. Alfu Layla wa Layla, that is 1001 Night. And another book they call Iqra, which is in Arabic too. So to me personally, he's not a writer. Because all his books are written out of another books. They just translated it and make it look like our Hausa books. So when Manumpashi challenges me, I wrote this Sabat and Sababi, and I wrote 48 short stories of Sabat and Sababi. Each book contained 12 stories.
So, Aljanna Dunia, You said you were motivated to write that story because of your sister's wedding or getting married to, you know, a foreigner, a Libyan for that matter. Yes. What is the motivation? What were the crises? What were the problems then? What really pushed you to do that?
Well, you know, at that time, people are against marrying from another languages, another person, like Hausas, they don't like marrying Kanuri, you know, or Bafulatani or anything. So I feel it is high time we accept being together and start accepting some other tribes into our own tribes. And at that time, as I told you, my sister has some problem at home because she has a lot of people who want to marry her from the Fulani clans. But she decided to choose this Arab man. And I did the same thing too, even though my own marriage was not the same as her own, because I don't have any problem with my marriage. I married an Arab man too, from Yemen. So you see, it is now it is all okay, because now we have a lot of people marrying Yorubas, you know, and so on, sort of. Even my own daughter married a Yoruba man and has 2 children with them. So it is one of the reasons why I wrote this book. I feel as long as we are Muslims, we can marry anybody who is a Muslim.
And the other books, looking at the genre in them, looking at the themes of these books and the rest of them, it seems like it's not about culture now. There are lots of them about morality. There are lots of them about religion and the rest of them, because you wrote so many religious books. Now, the morality issue, when we look at it from the point of view of your books, what really pushed you to do that? Because at the time you were writing, the morality or the morality level in the country, in the north, was a little bit higher than it is now. And then it was really not so much of a thing to complain about, because there was discipline, and then there was obedience, and people who were just like their brothers' keepers. What really pushed you to be so much involved in morality issues in your books?
Well, because at that time, it is just the time they started bringing in Indian films into the society. And most of our time, our youth, even as young as 10, 12, will do everything to enter a cinema. So to me personally, cinema is one of the things that destroy our morality. And the TV now has taken over, and it is worse than the cinema, because cinema, you have to have money before you enter and see cinema. And sometimes the people refuse small children entering cinema. But now we allow the youth, the younger ones, to use TV, internet, and find out a lot of things. Like now in the film industry, they have started bringing films that will encourage children to go into rape cases, stealing, and so on. So this is one of the reasons I thought at that time that maybe if I write something, I will make a difference, even if it's not much. That is the reason.
Were you able to make the difference you wanted?
Well, within the society I live, because I used to teach children, the Almajiri and these street workers here, children, they will come to my house, I will buy all their goods, and then I will teach them how to read and write. And I used to tell them that going about is not good for especially female children at that time. But now at the moment, even the male children still have the same problem with the female children, because they are raped too. So all these sort of things, I believe, is because of the low morality of our people. We have borrowed a lot of things from outside and bring it into our society, and that is the reason why our society is what it is now.
What, in your opinion, would be, your suggestion as regards this very borrowing you are talking about? The world has more or less become like a global village. It's now shrinking by the day. It's coming closer and closer because of technology. And people are accepting cultures all over the place now. What would you advise in this regard? Since you started complaining about the cinema at that time, and now the television, and here we are with the handsets and the rest of them.
Everything. Yes, even they can watch blue films inside a handset. Right. I don't approve parents giving their small children handsets. At least a child should reach up to 17 or 18 before he can use the phone. But now you can see a young boy of 12. My granddaughter, I'm always fighting her because she wants to use my phone for games, And this is all a bad influence of our society. We borrowed a lot of things, like in our marriages now. Before, we don't use cakes, you know, and this, we borrowed the first one from the Yoruba people, that is Ashobi. Ashobi is a Yoruba culture that you use, but now it has entered into Hausa and Fulani society, that they use Ashobi, they use cake, they use even rings, which is not our culture. So personally, to me, I don't think there is anything better than your culture. Once you let go of your culture and borrow, then you will always be a borrower. You have nothing to show for your culture. Like myself now, if I'm attending a conference, I used to attend a workshop on books. I was as a member of Baobab, a chairperson for more than 10 years in Zamfara State. I always use our clothes to attend that meetings. I never use this, our European clothes. I always use either the Fulani clothes or the Sokoto clothes, the black ones, you know, or weaved clothes of anything, because I believe that my culture is the best. I want people to accept their culture and use their culture and believe their culture is the best.
As a writer, as an avid writer, I know you're an avid reader too, because writers normally read a lot. Do you really like what you read today?
Well, most of the time, you know, I read English books. Most of the time. It is only when my book was criticized. My first book was criticized. Our malams and our people said I have brought soyayya love into the society. I want to spoil the young girls. But in my book, I didn't portray any bad thing inside the book. All I did was to show that another tribe can marry into another tribe and live happily and be accepted, you know. But because of this criticism of people, I started thinking then maybe I will have to write another one. So that is why I wrote the other books, especially Nasiha Gama Aura, because I brought some hadiths and some Quranic verses inside to show that you can marry any person without fear as long as your religion is the same. I don't approve of somebody marrying from another religion, because I believe it will bring problem into the marriage. But if you are a Muslim, then you can marry anybody as a Muslim, and then the society will be fine. So this is one of the reasons. I don't know, maybe, you know, there is a lot of reasons why you write. Sometimes it is the society. Sometimes it is what is happening around you. Like now, I have written a book about this kidnappers and the accusation of Fulanis, you know, because I had a terrible story about one boy from Mambila. His whole family was wiped out in Mambila. He is the only one remaining. He watched his father being burned alive, and even his meat was eaten by the killers. So I wrote a book about this, and I made another short story which will be coming out among, we are around 12 or 15 writers that wanted to contribute something about kidnapping and so on, so that we can get money to give these people who are living, what do you call, Gudun Hijra. So the story was there. And it is what is happening every day in our society. There is these rape cases, I have written about them. There is this kidnapping, I have written a lot about a lot of things in our society. The problem is only publishing. You know, you need a lot of money to publish a book. For example, the 4 ones now I'm publishing cost me nearly 1.5 million to publish the 4 books. So maybe, even if I'm not around, my children will come to accept, say, my writing is good and publish it. You know, they have been blackmailed and brainwashed into believing writing in your own language is wrong. You have to write in English before you are recognized. So they are not interested in my books. I'm very sorry to say it. I don't believe any one of them has read any of my books. So maybe in the next generation, maybe one of them or their children will come to publish the rest of my book.
you seem not to be, very comfortable with how a lot of people think that books should be written in English, first of all, before they are very much accepted. Why do you think so? Why do you think that books are just books? They could be in anything, in any language.
Because I believe our languages need books. We have a lot of white man's book in English, a lot of them, more than I can say, because I have read a lot about the English writers. I think I have read over 10,000 books of writers, and even I have collected some. Unfortunately, I have a fire around 1995, so most of my collection were destroyed. But even this time, I used to collect. Somebody just sent me a copy of Harun Yahya books free. So I believe in Hausa or any language in the North especially, we need books in our own languages. Because there are people who can't read English. They don't understand English. So why deprive them of the joy of reading and write in another language instead of your own? Like my books. My father translated some of my books into Fulfulde and Arabic, especially the first one. But we didn't publish yet. So I believe writing, accepting your language, using it to promote your language and your culture is the best thing that a human being can do to his society.
So virtually you're a culture advocate.
My tribe is my best. There is no tribe like my own. This is my belief. And my language is the best. And there is nothing you can bring me from outside that I will say is better than on my tribe or my language. So I'm promoting my language.
And something goes with your culture too.
Yes. Culture is very important. A person without culture is nothing. You have to have a culture. You have to have a background. You have to know where you come from. What is your use? Why are you born? And all these sorts of things. You have to do it with your culture and your language. Once you let that go, then you don't have any identity. This is my view.
Now, let's look back a little and then see how this whole writing started, how you're continuing in it. What have been your influences? Who have been your influences? Who have been your influencers, if I may say?
My father. Right. My father is my influence. He started teaching me how to read and write. He brought books, Arabic books, translated it into Fulfulde and tell us the story of the book. Like this Alf Layla. I have known about some of the stories in Alf Layla even before I started reading Hausa, let alone when I started reading Imam's book. So you see, sometimes you create an interest, but sometimes you are born into an interest. My father is a writer. My grandfather is a writer. I accept my second award in Niger State with my great-grandmother, Nana Wadaji Ismail, because I'm a descendant from Sokoto. I'm a descendant of Usman Danfodio. There is 4 caps between my father and Usman Danfodio. So we were given the same award for writing at that time. So you see, if they didn't write and keep it, nobody will know what they have written. But now we have their books. We have Usman Danfodio's book, Abdullahi, and it was translated into our own languages. Like them, they write in Arabic, Fulfulde and Hausa, and 2 of them write in Swahili too. So it is not new to me. I grew up among writers. My father is a he writes poems in Fulfulde and in Arabic. And the same thing with my grandfather. So I just was brought up among writers.
Yeah, we can see that really. Presently, there is this Kano marketplace literature, talking about the involvement of women now in writing, so many of them. And I can even remember that BBC promotes that so much in its programs and organizes competitions to that effect.
I told you, Manumpashi accused me of bringing the Kano market with my first book, because after my book, most of the writers in Hausa write love stories. So he said I'm the man who promoted them to write stories. But most of the time, they translated Indian films into books. But we have very good writers like Rahama Abdul Majid, Balaraba Ramat. We have a lot of female writers. I respect some of them. I started reading their books because of Manumpashi criticism. So the majority of the book I read are from Indian films. It was translated from Indian films. But we have good writers. We have Fozia, we have Balaraba Ramat, we have Rahama Abdul Majid. They are all good writers.
Now, what would be your word, therefore, to upcoming writers, especially female writers in northern Nigeria and generally in Nigeria? What would be your advice?
I will tell them to keep writing. Even if they didn't get published, they should write and keep it. Maybe someday, one day, another person will come and publish their work. And when writing, please try to research and write something of your own, not copy from another book or from films and so on. This is my advice.
Okay. Before I let go of this writing thing, have your books been used in schools for children?
My first book has been used since 1970 because the competition was in 1970 and the book was published in 1972. So the universities, especially Bayero University, they use that book a lot, and Sokoto University too. So now they are using that book up till now. And my second book, Sabat and Sababitu, is being used in Sokoto, Katsina, Gusau, Zamfara State, and Kano too. They use it in secondary schools because it is an adventure for looking for money instead of staying doing nothing, waiting for somebody to bring you money. The stories I wrote, they went out to search for money.
Oh, that's great. Now, in case you are just joining us, the program is Reflections, and we're reaching you from the Nigerian Television Authority. We'll now take a break. Stay back for more on this program. Welcome back. You are a woman activist, Hafsat Abdul Wahid. And in our discussion, you mentioned, your organization, the Baobab, which you've been the chairperson for over 10 years. You are the coordinator at a certain point in time. Now, you got the writing acumen and inheritance from your father, grandfather down the line. Where did you get the activism from?
Well, both my parents, they like women to be free. They like freedom of women. That is why our father educated us the same way he educated his male children. He didn't appreciate, and he always encouraged us to find out about things personally, not to allow somebody to tell us something. Like now, in religion, I was taught to read about Christianity a lot because my father believing in a religion without knowing other religion, it will be baseless. So he allows us to read books on religion. I read books on Christianity. I read books on Hinduism. I read a lot of things, this Zoroastrianism, or any religion. So we were given freedom to find out things ourselves, not to allow somebody to tell us something. So it's one of the reasons I went into this activity, because at that time, women are told not to go to school. Even religiously, you are believed just to know how to pray. That is all. Because I remember my cousin went to Gusau to visit me while I was there. She recited the Surah Yasin offhead. And my houseboy came and asked me, Madam, why did you allow your sister to know so much about Islam? I said, why not? I said, no, his malam told him that women are supposed to only know about prayers. And I said, go and tell your malam, he's telling lies. And the next thing I know, the malam was in my house. He said I was trying to brainwash his almajiri into believing women are equal than men. We have a long discussion. After that, he came to accept my belief. And he even came to to sacrifice our Salah rams and the rams with my children in naming ceremony. So this is the belief at that time, that women are not allowed to know too much. Because you know that is why our men, black men, our women, they don't want them to know their right in Islam. That is why. So anything a man does, a woman will accept it as religion. That she is there to fight for paradise under her husband's feet.
Submit completely.
Which I don't believe that. Because even in the Quran, there is nowhere in the Quran that the Quran said a woman's paradise under her husband's feet. When he named religion, he said, believe in Allah, believe in my prophet, and look after your parents. So to me, my belief is paradise under the foot of the parents, especially the mother. So this is what has been making me having problem in Zamfara. I was the coordinator of Baobab for nearly 10 years. Then I was the chairperson of I established ANA Zamfara. Yes, Association of Roads. Yes, I was their chairman for more than 10 years. Then I have my own organizations. I have Partnership for Human Development. I have Turungwada Women's Committee. Under these two organizations, I have done a lot of work in Zamfara, including building boreholes, schools, providing books, not only inside Zamfara, but in the neighboring villages, like Kotorkoshi, Sahi, and so on. And then there is another organization that I established, but give it to another person, Gender Women Initiative. Under this, we teach Almajiri and the Hawking children how to read and write. So I'm not proud to say I have done enough, but I have tried. I have done my best.
Now let's look at that organization once again. I remembered there was a time when, the Baobab organization visited the governor of Zamfara State. That was in the 2000s or thereabout. Yes. You were the coordinator. Yes, we refused to attend that courtesy visit. Why did you refuse to attend? Why didn't you attend that courtesy visit?
Because if I attend, I'm going to spoil things for my colleagues from Lagos. I have been criticizing Yerima for a long time.
The then governor.
And then if I go, if he talk lies, I will talk back. You see? So I will put the organization into problems. That is why I refuse to go. And when they come back, I asked them, they said, he has stayed, they went there because of this barrier case. We have taken her case because she accused 3 people of having sex with her, and she became pregnant. And Sharia at that time is used only for the underprivileged. So she was accused of her not having any evidence for that, and that she is going to be whipped 100 times because she has done kazafi for these 3 people. One of them has even children older than her. So we took the case under Baobab and under Rapa. Under Baobab, we did try. They did try. When they went there, they asked him to please postpone the whipping because she is nursing a small boy of 7-month-old. He promised to do so. But the very next day, the girl was beaten. So when they went there, they told me that they asked him why there is no women in his cabinet. He said because there are no educated women in Zamfara State. So I didn't say anything to them at that time. The next day, I called BBC, Voice of America, and announced I'm going to contest for the governorship of Zamfara State. We are not after commissioner now. We are after his government.
You're trying to prove him wrong then with this very...
So I want to prove that we have educated women at that time. I know a lot of women living inside their big wings of Zamfara State that are educated, some of them with even PhD. Why will he claim we don't have educated women in Zamfara State to hold the post of commissioner? So instead of wanting commissionership under his wing, we want his chair. So that is why. And I did got a lot of people all over Zamfara. I travel and campaign. Because at that time, my husband is a PDP secretary. He's the secretary of PBP in Zamfara State, yes. So I travel. I ask them to give me the mandate to contest under PDP. They refuse, you know. So while I was still negotiating with a different party, my father called me and told me to stop this issue of contesting. The Sultan of Sokoto, my uncle, called me and said the same thing. So you see, sitting down and doing nothing, allow everybody to trod on you, is wrong. You are an individual. You are a human being. You have the rights like everybody. So underrating women, especially in our society, is very wrong because Islam has upgraded a woman to a higher position than any man. Because first of all, a woman is the first woman who accepts Islam in the world. It is a woman who was sacrificed. She was killed by her boss because she became a Muslim. So you see, it is a woman who shed her blood for Islam the first time. And then it is a woman that Prophet said 3 times that you should do what your mothers told you 3 times if you are a father. You see, so to me personally, a woman is even bigger than a man. Because no matter how important you are, how big you are, it is a woman who carried you 9 months in her stomach and brought you into the world. So if you look down on a woman, you are looking down on mothers. So we have a lot to learn in our society because for a long time, they have put down women using religion, which is wrong. So how can you look down on a woman? And then she will rule you in your house. You may be a king, you might be a head of state, but at home, it is a woman who will do. She will ask you to do things and you will do it. So I think it is foolishness for our men to be thinking of women as weak sex. We are not weak. In some ways, we are even stronger than men because what a woman can take, someone will not take it. Especially in our society now, it is a woman who provides the household feeding and everything when the man is doing nothing. So how can you look down on somebody who is doing everything for you?
So how do you now reconcile this very belief with the saying that it is a man's world?
Well, maybe to the men it is a man's world, but to me it is a woman's world. In my class, 3 of us, we are only 5 females in our primary school. All the rest are male. The first, second, and third are women. The men only follow after. And this in our society now, you will find a man. You know, I blame our malams for what is going on in our society. Because the malam encourage men to marry women even if they don't have money. They told them that if they are poor, they can let them marry. If you are poor, you marry. And again, you didn't get money, you marry again.
But that's a very weak stance.
The prophets and the Quran has put down reasons of getting married and putting laws for that. You are supposed to get accommodation for your wife, feed her, clothe her, do everything for her. Then one malam has said you don't have to do all that. Just marry another woman and the money will come raining down from the sky for you. See? So this is what spoiled our society. You will find a man without job with 2, 3, 4 wives. No feeding them, no education for the children, nothing. So we have a malam in Baobab. He used always to preach that people from the West are trying to stop us having more children, that we should continue having children no matter what. So one day I asked him, I said, is the prophet going to be proud of Kwaya and Banga?
Bandits, drug addicts.
He asked me, what do I mean? You are telling people to marry and have children and give them no education. They become Kwaya people, they become drunkard, they become thieves. So how can the prophet be proud of these people? He said, I'm very stupid, and stopped talking to me from that day. And you know me, I always like to find trouble. So whenever we meet in a workshop, I would go and greet him. he will turn his head away from me. Till later on, he started answering my greetings. So this is what brought our society to what we are here now. A man is encouraged to marry co-wives. He will bring children, 10, 20, and he will send them for begging, which is not Islamic. So all my writings are based on real life, even the stories. Most of them are based on real life stories. I just add something to make the reading attractive.
Now, all this, as you mentioned, are part of your writings, are part of your books. And the saddest part of it is that most of these books have not been published, as you said.
Well, you know I'm a poor woman. I don't have money.
Yes, you do not
have I become the governor of Zamfara State, you know I will have published my books free.
You should have really, quite okay.
But my father stopped me.
Right.
That is why I withdrew.
Did they stop you from politics generally? Or
no, they just asked me to stop saying I'm going to be a governor.
That contest?
Yes, that contest a lot. But
your political life there?
I keep participating in any politics. I even attend lectures here in Abuja with political women. I was invited to talk.
What I mean is contesting other positions. They say, okay, let go the governorship. What about...
From that time, I didn't even consider any position. If I'm not going to have the position of a governor, then there is no position I would like, because I like to make changes.
Don't you think you can make changes in other positions too?
No, you will not be allowed to. Even if you win, the governors and their protocols will not allow you to do what is right. So that is one of the reasons I stopped. But I encourage everybody, I encourage women to participate in politics. The second mistake our people made is always to choose the wrong people.
But when we say politics is dirty and people like you don't want to join because of that reason, then what really happens? Are we going to continue in that very way? For how long would we be continuing
because
that?
The good people, even if they contest, they don't win. They give money out and push the honest people outside. There is nothing you can do unless you have money. And if you are a truthful person, you are honest, nobody is going to sponsor you. You see? So this is one of the reasons. If the politics of Nigeria will be free, that you don't have to buy a ticket for anything, maybe we'll get good people to contest. But at the rate things are going on, you have to pay millions to contest for a governorship or a senate. Then where will the person get money? So this is the problem. But I hope and wish our next generation will clear this up. Even they are fed up with this, what is going on now, they will do something about it. We have strong children now who care about people and their place of birth. They will do something, even if it's a revolution. Okay. You know, in France, when things get so bad, the king at that time used to buy ships. His interest is in collecting ships and diamond for his wife. So the people revolt, and he was killed. Unfortunately, his wife used to change the diamond the husband gave her into ordinary chain and sell the real one to feed her people with food and coal during the cold season. But she's the first one to undergo the guillotine. He was the first one they killed. So I think Nigeria is going through that piece. If we are not careful, what happened in France will happen in Nigeria. Unless something change. This is my belief.
I can see that. Let's go back to the books. One of your books, The Ancient Dance, it's a collection of poems, I believe. Now, that very book, has a lot of morals, lot of, teachings in them for those who really like poetry. Why did you decide to call it The Ancient Dance?
Well, one of the poems is ancient. Yeah. It's ancient dance, because in the olden days, things are better than what we have now. So I decided to title the book that way, because in ancient time, a problem of yours is a problem to your neighbor. So I was hoping people will copy that, because most of the poems inside are realities. It is something that had happened. I collected a lot of stories because of the women I mingle with in our society. When they have problem with their husband, they will come to me. So most of the poems are real life stories. The dance is about the ancient times. It is from the beginning now. Man and woman is from the time past. Life started with a man and a woman. So if you read the ancient dance poem, you will see what I mean inside. I don't have to pronounce it for you or to show you what it is, but you will understand what is inside.
It's okay now, finally on this program. You are, a writer of repute, and of course, somebody who has published so many books. And we really feel sad about the fact that they've not been so much published, most of them, but you're working on trying to get them published as such.
I have 4 coming on.
Right. Congratulations for
Thank you.
What do you want to be remembered for?
My books. I want to be remembered by my books and the good work I have done on teaching how to read and write. Because reading and writing is very important. And I know I have taught nearly, maybe, if not more than 100 in Zamfara, how to read and write, including adults and small children. And I know they will remember me by that. And my organization has done a lot. We have built boreholes inside Zamfara and in the villages around. And we have built a school, a primary and secondary school there. And we have provided books. Up till now, I used to buy books and uniform for the children there. So I know people will remember me a lot, even for my smile.
For your courtesy and hospitality.
When I came first to this estate, majority of the people living here are Christians. And it is just like London. So when Eid Fitri comes, and I used to slaughter 6-7 rams in Gusau and give them meat out. I slaughtered 4 rams here, and I don't know where to put the meat. So I divided the meat all over this street and the second one, and took the rest to the mosque. And from that time on, our neighbors will come in, Madam, may I come and talk to you? And from that time, I make friends. Even some have left this estate, but still keep in touch. When I went my first time in London, my daughter told me, Mama, you will not enjoy this, because nobody is coming to see you. 2 or 3 days later, when she came back from work, she found me with her neighbor of 13 years. He has never entered her sitting room. She only entered his sitting room once when his wife died. She found me talking to him and 2 other people. The second day, the same thing. Then she asked me, Mama, how did you get these people? How did I get them? Why don't you ask them how I get them? Not you. I told Mama, I know these people, they don't even look at you. But to tell the truth, it is from her son. At that time, her son is very small. He's around 2. And he's very pretty. People assume he is a girl. So whenever I go out, they will stop and talk to me about the boy. From that time, I encourage them to come and see me. And I will give them coffee during the cold season. If you offer a bature, a copy of tea, or a cup of coffee, he becomes yours for life. So we still keep in touch with some people from there. So I believe wherever you go in the world, it is you who can make a difference in that place. It is you who will find out about the people there. When you become friendly, they will get friendly. If you become isolated, they will isolate you. This is my belief. So wherever I go, I make friends, old and young. I think I have more than 100 children all over the world now, simply because of talking to them. We meet in one of my organizations, so we make friends. They still keep talking.
That's great. We thank you so much, Haji Hafsat.
It's
our pleasure that you've been part of this program this week.
I hope one day Nigeria will talk with one of our languages.
That's a good one, too.
And I prepare they talk in full day.
That one work in Nigeria, really?
Around 10 or 20 years ago, I would say it will work. But now I don't think it will work. maybe the three divisions, maybe here we will talk on Hausa, and the Yoruba will talk in Yoruba, and the Igbos with Igbo. But I don't think we will come to accept one language in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. A very big thank you to you there for coming along. It's been reflections on the Nigerian Television Authority. I've been discussing with Hajia Hafsat Abdulwahid Ahmed, the first female author, the first female writer in northern Nigeria, and the discussion has been on for a while. We thank you so much for being part of this program. Why not join us next week for another personality on the reflections? Bye-bye.
This vaccine is safe, and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
A mural is any piece of artwork painted or applied directly on a wall, ceiling, or other permanent surfaces. A distinguished characteristic of mural painting is that the architectural elements of the given space are harmoniously incorporated into the picture. This incorporation was what drew my attention to the bright colors and bold pictures that adorn the walls of the city of Kaduna State. We met Jesse Josh, a young man who hails from Kaduna State. He is one of the young generation muralists in the northern part of Nigeria.
Actually, there are a lot of expressions you see all around here. All don't mean one thing. So I'll basically say is by a piece. When you touch a piece, I can tell you what it says, but I try to just express from within to the world, how I can connect to the world. But per piece I can express, but I can't really say this is all that it is in all my pieces. There's a lot to talk about. Before I started doing art, I tried my possible best to make sure I follow up on people who are ahead of me. So I learned from them, I see their stories, I hear, and also I know that it was never smooth. I was prepared to go through the extra mile, to do what I had to do, to go hungry. I planned, I was ready to be hungry. Even right now, for my passion, I'm ready to be extremely more hungry just to achieve what I want to achieve. So to me, I won't say it's there was a time that it happened and I'm so overwhelmed, I lost it. No, I have lost a lot before. So when I made up my mind to start art, I knew I was going to lose some things and I was ready for them.
Murals today are painted in a variety of ways using oil or water-based media. The beauty of a wall mural has become much more widely available with a technique whereby a painting or a photographic image is transferred to poster paper or a canvas, which is then pasted to a wall to give the effect of either a hand-painted mural or realistic scene as an alternative to hand-painted or airbrushed mural.
So far, I'm grateful to God. Okay, this is what I do. I know. Like I said, I studied the people that are ahead of me. Over time, I realized that people who just pay attention on just canvases, they end up becoming rich. Eventually, people will patronize them when they get to see them have like large collections that are able to make a statement. Because if you're unable, it's not about how good. That's how I've learned it. It's not about how good, but like how you are able to like express on your walls, on your canvases. So I try to do graffiti too, and I'm known for that as a graffiti artist. So I know that there are lounges, there are places. So if this is not selling, I'm selling it somewhere. So like instead of me to feel discouraged before, if I can invest 200,000, like I invest a lot of money into this, I'm still investing into the Hamlord series that you can see. And you know, sometimes I could just feel frustrated, like, oh, I'm supposed to be chilling, but you know, before that happens, somebody would just be like, hey, come and do my place, and then that covers up. So I put in more money again, I do more paintings. But I just have a feeling that before I'm done, like my Hamlord series, and I have a lot of works that could pass the right message, like the world is gonna buy. Yeah, the Hamlord series like is actually like a core part of my personality. Okay. Like I'm from the Ham community. Like that's the Nok society, and the Nok people are the people that used to be known as the Jabba people. But you know, we've made it clear that we are Ham and not harmful. So, but like we created the earliest civilization in West Africa. I'm sure a lot of people know about that. Maybe nobody's saying anything, but it means a whole lot. Like, you know, the Nok terracottas, like they've been there dated back to like 1,500 years before Christ. So like that's a whole lot. So it means some people from Kaduna, say southern Kaduna, have been trying to advance even without the help of any, you know, digital age and stuff like that. So that's a big deal. And I'm from there and I'm going to keep quiet. No, now I'm an artist. My ancestors used clay. That was what they had then to preserve the history of their people and affect lives. Maybe that was what they had. Now I have paint. I have a lot of beautiful colors. And this is how I choose to paint my Hamlord series. That's why the work is so like colorful like this. So I'm just trying to like, hey, my ancestors, when you link back from then till now, you'll be like, oh, this was where we stopped. And this is where he picked it from. So we're trying to reconnect and make the world know that we are part of the whole global civilization from a very important part. And the whole world should know that.
In modern times, the term became more well known with the Mexican muralist art movement, with artists like Diego Rivera, David Suqueros, and Jose Orozco. Murals bring art into the public sphere, and also, due to size, cost, and work involved in creating a mural, a muralist must often be commissioned by a sponsor. Murals can be an effective tool of social emancipation or achieving political goals. A mass communication graduate, the Ham Kaduna State-born artist speaks art on every surface he lays his hands on. A fusion of culture and urban lifestyle is what is mostly conspicuous in his works. With a lot of abstract and semi-abstract works to his credit, his free spirit in the world of painting has earned him the nickname Crux City Master Artist.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Yes, yesterday I ended the show with a wish that Chelsea emerged victorious with, in their encounter with Manchester City yesterday. Yes, they are the kings of Europe now. And yes, what can we learn from that encounter yesterday? We know that you have to have a goal. We know that we have to plan. You know, you have to strategize and, of course, work hard. In 2016, yes, the Nigerian government inaugurated Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, chaired by the Vice President. And, the activities of this council actually contributed significantly to, the gains we are seeing now on the ease of doing business in the country. Yes, we know that, our rating has actually improved in the last doing